People waiting, ready. All right, looks like we're live. Let me refresh, make sure we're set, make sure we're good. Still again, not ready. Still, what is going on here? All right, I think we should be. All right, now we should be good to go. Hustlebee is here.
What's up? What's up, everybody? How are you guys doing tonight?
We got Baller Man. What's up? Pingu the Penguin. Yo. SJ Arist. Hi. Danny Romero. What's up? Jeremy Hips. What's up? Age, sex, location. Treasure Hunt Hustlers. Looks good. Sounds good. Green Granny Resale. What's up? Tammy. John. Shout out to Jersey. What's up? G Jasso. Hi. Scott Wynn listening right now. Cool. Good to see everybody in the chat. Trying to say hi to everybody here. G Money Mar. Yo, yo, yo. And we're going to talk, first off, we're going to talk a little bit about Gary V, K-Swiss, shoes and flipping them. Adriana, hi. Good to see you. And
What's up, guys?
Yeah, there you go. Crystal Ortiz, Giggity, what's up? Zach Cox, what's up? Lord Kingdom, Sammy, hi. Got everybody coming in. So we'll talk about the Raw stuff in a little bit while more people get in the live show. But we're going to start off with Gary V, K-Swiss, and our friend Hustlebee over here picked up how many pairs?
I picked up 8 pairs.
And how much are they going for now?
So there are sold for 200, ranging from 200 to 250. Some sold for $300.
No, I thought they were like 180 range. I didn't know they were up to like 300 at this point.
So there's 2 kicks, right? Let me look it up. The more expensive one are the Gary V like knit, something like that, fly knit or something. And there's been.
It just sounds funny.
I know, it's crazy, right? One sold for $300, a size 11, of their leather ones. So the leather is actually the cheaper ones because they only retail for $85, and then some sold for 220 ship, 225, 228. One, I don't know if this is sold or it's ended listing, but one sold for 300 as well. One sold for 365. It was a signature though. It's with a signature.
Oh, okay.
So this was probably with the in-person drop in New York.
I was about to say you're spending $350 plus on Gary V's.
Yeah, so 365 with a signature. I guess that would be a cool collection. So it's been crazy, right? So K-Swiss actually was having troubles last night because the site was crashing because of the traffic that was coming in. And
it was crashing. How many people are on the K-Swiss site? This is probably like the most they've ever had of all time.
Yeah, that's what it is. I mean, there's nobody recent that they have, close to Gary V's popularity or has a following like Gary V. So what happened is it was crashing last night. And then, I didn't have any plans. I was just looking around in the backgrounds to kind of see like, this is very interesting. Now it's crashing and stuff like that. And then there were hints that Gary saying like, they only made a certain pairs and there won't be any restock. So as soon as he said that, I think it brought a lot more hype. And then I woke up. I think I bought them around like 9 or 10 in the morning already. I was just still half asleep. I was like, let me just buy it just in case. So I bought 2 pairs at a time, just so there won't be any cancellation of orders. So I placed 4 orders total, with 2 pairs each. And lo and behold, about noon or 2 p.m., the men's size is sold out already.
Oh man, which is just, I don't know. I think it's kind of crazy too. The entrepreneur shoe.
Somebody said he got 7. Donovan said he got 7 and sold them all on the first day.
Yeah, there we go. Donovan got 7, sold all of them the first day. Elliot says picked up a bunch last night in women's. It's the exact same shoe. Which, remember, you're going to talk about that. Like you said, it's the same shoe. It's just a conversion, right?
Yeah, it's just conversion. So the last two orders that I got was actually women's sizing. So I just look it up before this show, 10 and 11 and women's actually sold out already. And then 11 based on the
Oh
K-Swiss
man.
size chart was a size 9. So the size 10 was a
Okay.
size 8 in men. So yeah, they they sold out. So what's left now is the women's sizing, like size, I believe, 5.5 to size 9. Size 9.5. Yeah. So yeah, somebody in the chat said, Dirty Harry Films. Yes, Gary Vee has a K-Swiss collection.
And then Elliot, yeah, just the conversion. So a guy would have to go full size and a half up in women's.
Yeah,
Are
so
you
I'm
still?
not 100% sure yet because I have to see it, right? Because the more accurate really would be UK size because UK doesn't change, right? For women, UK is the same.
Yeah.
As far as the says, it's two sizes down.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
men's is two sizes down on the women's number. So we'll see when I get it in how different they're gonna be once I line them up.
Oh, okay. Oh man, so that's crazy. So let me know in the chat if you picked up, who else here picked up some Gary V K Swiss shoes, and if you plan to keep them for the collection or you plan to resell them, I would like to know why. Because me and Ken were talking about this because I was like, you know what? I think it's awesome that he has his own shoe. I think that's good for him. I think if K Swiss came to me and was like, hey, we're gonna make a Hustler Hacks exclusive, then I would probably be like, hey, you know what? That's pretty cool. Even though it is K Swiss. But at the same time, I think that the models that they have, the first two, it just seems like they're obviously something that he would like and that he would wear. There's no way in hell I would wear them. I think they're ugly. And I think what do you think?
I don't know. I don't know. Maybe it's the comfort in it or what. Because like the leather shoes just looks like your regular Calvin Klein sneaker, Coach sneaker, kind of like trying to be that high end, leather and just white sole sneaker. So
Yeah,
that's just kind of the thing. But the other one is kind of more like a Flyknits, a Nike's Flyknit shape, so more like sporty. I guess it's
yeah,
just for some people, right? I think for some people that aren't sneakerhead, that aren't hustling, I guess spending that and wearing that wouldn't be much, right? If I wasn't into sneakers at all, if I didn't like Jordans, if I didn't like Nikes, it's either buying Calvin Klein's from Marshalls or buying some Kohans or something different, right? Something just just regular shoe. I think that would be good enough, yeah, right?
yeah.
But from a sneakerhead standpoint, it's nowhere near to a sneakerhead besides the hype behind it or the personality behind it.
Yeah. Plus we got that Jets green, so that's not gonna help. And okay, let me see. Let me go back into the chat. So someone said Mr. Javapino is here, so say what's up to him.
What's up? What's up? Oh,
Drummer is also here. Oh, look at this guy showing off in the live chat.
making sales. Sorry.
Drummer is here. Aiden YT, shout out. There you go. Aaron says he would buy the Hustler Hacks exclusives. Scott Wynn also said +1 to Aaron, so I like that.
Yeah,
Uh,
it definitely has to be. It definitely has to be Nike. I'm not. I'm not wavering. Like,
oh, so you wouldn't buy the Hustler Hacks exclusive and ones at Walmart?
no way. What? Bro, like hustle be Skechers.
Yeah, Hustle be Skechers.
Yeah, that's that. Yeah, I don't care. I mean, there's just something with branding, right? I mean, you could go too far with branding, but I mean, obviously, right? He said it's a win-win situation for his end, right? Like he's the first guy to do it, so now it's just at the end of the day, it's bragging rights. Like he's getting paid to do that, so he's not losing any money, and at the end of the day, he's probably gaining, some traction over in the fashion industry,
Yeah.
in some sort, right? Like, okay, VaynerMedia will do K-Swiss advertising. VaynerMedia will show everybody how it's done, and then obviously with the hype behind it and the sellout, now other fashion industry will like, wait, let's hire VaynerMedia to do our marketing on
Yeah.
our products. So,
Yeah.
and that's why that's his biggest leverage for his
Yeah.
business. Because at the end of the day, he still wants to buy the jets, right? So the way that he could buy the jets is to bring in more business
Money.
to his
Yeah.
his more money on his business. So that's what he's doing. Smart guy.
Yes, sir. Aiden, what's up? We shouted you out. Let me see. Let me go back on here. So Pingu the Penguin says, "What Ross is the best?" Well, we went to Chicago area. We're going to talk about Hustled a little bit later. I don't know. I think they were all kind of. I mean, there's good and bad to everyone. I didn't think we really found like one that was like just
Crazy.
totally awesome. Yeah,
Yeah.
polarize. So many people finding the grade school up tempos. Let's talk about that real quick. So Ross find grade school up tempos. First, the ones that came out were the red ones that were, um, I guess, kind of like a Bulls colorway, red and black and white. Now we've seen more of the white with the gum bottoms. And honestly, I would still pick up both. But how many people have found those? Let me know in the live chat. What do you think about our competition as far as people finding them now? Um, I think they're still worth picking up no matter what.
Yeah, they're worth it, but you'd have to go through the low ballers, these the oversaturated kind of period, because it's normal, right? So now that we've kind of have a pattern going on, because you're gonna have one-offs, but you're gonna have a lot of certain shoes distributed among all the rots. So how many stores do they have?
No, Ross,
Yeah,
like
did you
1,200
have a
around the
count?
U.S.
Yeah, so let's just say there's 1,200 Rosses and all of them get one, because a lot of them may not get one, but some will get three or four. So let's just say there's going to be 1,200 pairs floating around. So a lot of them, let's just say at least half, goes to eBay. So that's 600 pairs right there. So that could be 600 feet, to be filled with up tempos. And of course, they're not the best hype shoe, or people the most wanted shoe, but they're a good quality shoe, made and built well. So yeah, if you're gonna buy that, buy it for future, good inventory. It's considered as a good inventory because you can easily make good 30 to 40 bucks on it. But if you're trying to make a quick flip, I haven't checked the market yet, but I'm sure somebody's selling it for $60 ship already.
Well, here's my take on it. I was gonna say that like what they said in the chat, SJR says that he found some at Burlington for 34.99. So now you're looking at Burlington having them and Ross having them. Sometimes you'll have the same find like on both stores, but sometimes only one of them will get that certain shoe. You won't find it any other place. So of course that's also good. But the fact that there's two different stores that have gotten them, they're both similar priced. I mean, it's a clear, easy find because up tempos just stick out so easily. Like anyone that's not even a sneakerhead could probably be like, "Oh, those look pretty cool," and pick them up and see what's going on with them. So I think in general, yes, still pick them up. We're gonna have to be way more patient than usual with them. It's also good that Christmas time is coming up, so that it
Yeah,
also may help with sales and pick up for them. But for some reason, they just didn't sell well. I guess when they first came out, but I think the popularity would only go up, especially if Nike's not going to carry them anymore online or
yeah.
Finish Line or any of those main stores. So it can only help it from here on out. But yeah, you're gonna have to be pretty patient with it. Let me see. So Kevin says found some Ultra Boost for $35. And I think, did you say you found, I think Kevin said maybe it might have been women's, like a small women's size. When I originally found Ultra Boost, they were like in a huge men's size. I didn't see any other like women's. I did sell those, I think, for like 140 or something. So I think any Ultra Boost period, small or huge, definitely worth picking up, especially for like 30, $35. I mean,
Yeah,
nothing there.
I mean, it's, Ultra Boost is still holding their value. Brand new is still, with sale and everything, like 140 and stuff like that. So I think you could easily price it at, 110, 99 and everything like that.
Crystal, thoughts on the black pigeons?
I mean, they're really hyped up. But I believe the market is settling at 250 right now. So
Yeah.
when you got it for retail, I think it retail for 110, if I'm not mistaken. So there's a good profit to be made there. So it's either that or you can hold on to it longer until everybody, runs out of supply because it might spike up. And uh, you can. I mean, it's Christmas season too, so that's a pretty good gift. I say it will settle between 220 after said and done. So I mean, you could still sell it locally or sell it Facebook group where you can avoid all the fees and shipping. That would be the best bet for those because
Yeah.
they're kind of hype. So kind of stay away from scams and stuff like that.
Yeah. Emery says, guys, I found Ultra Boost 3.0, size 10 and a half at Marshall's, $50. I remember some people found some of those recently too. I haven't seen anything like that at Marshall's in my area. Mr. Hafapino sold my LeBron size 16 last night, 130. That's what I like to
Nice.
hear. Yeah. And let me see. Let's see. Someone asked about, oh yeah, Ballerman says, are you still finding cleats?
Not anymore. I mean, the only place I'm finding cleats are Nike Outlet. Besides that, I haven't found any. Uh, I'm sorry, guys.
Oh, he's sorry, guys.
I'm
I'm
sorry.
sorry that my phone's going off.
No, it's been very dry, man. I thought I was only gonna sell like 20 bucks today, and then all of a sudden it started going back to back. But
Oh, because you're
um,
live.
yeah, that's what it is. Now, so the only place I've been finding them is a Nike Outlet. And but the thing is, like I've been seeing Ross and Burlington really dry. I haven't been really sourcing much.
Okay.
So it could be both, right? I haven't been going out as much as I was, and it's just the wave is just different this time.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it's weird with the cleats, like especially. I mean, the Untouchables kind of came out like what, maybe last month, and then now they're like gone. And then I don't know. Soccer cleats has just been kind of off and on, like you said. Nike Outlet seems to be the best at this point. I haven't really seen anything else. I think besides those like Opus and the Superflies that I saw in women's section maybe 3, 4 weeks ago. Other than that, I haven't seen anything else soccer cleat wise recently. Which is why we're going to talk about. We have 3 tips for slow Ross finds. What to do, what you should be doing. Let's say you're not finding any cleats, you're not finding anything else. What can you do to improve on your listings and your business when it is a little slow? Who here in the live chat, let me know. Has it been slow for you in your area? Let me know. And where you're at, I think somewhat, because everybody is in different, different cities. You're going to have the ups and downs. You're going to have some stores that are just going to be, like nonstop finds. And, when I came back from Chicago, there's a certain Ross that I went to the last 2 days, and I found items both 2 days that I went. And so I was like, all right, cool. Like, people left me stuff here. They're like, yeah, let me just make the Hustler Hacks comes back. We'll leave them in this stuff. So I was like, all right, that's cool. But at the same time, we have like a Marshalls that's been dry for like the last 2, 3 months. I mean, it's garbage, and they haven't even been adding anything new. The same stuff we've already been seeing, and I'm like, okay, it's almost like, do I just I don't want to leave this store out of my routine already, but it's like there's just been no hope at this store. And I keep checking too over and over again, but I don't know what's going on with that, Marshalls. So let's start off with the tips. Everybody in the live chat says some people are saying it's dry. Some people say they don't even have a Ross in their area. Slow. Let's see, North Carolina, Charlotte area from Jeremy. Let me see. Ping of the Penguin. Haven't found many cleats lately. Let's see. Aiden's in Washington. Let me see who else. Maryland is slow. Deformity Shot. No, it's dry. Asked an employee and said it wasn't the season for cleats anymore. Bad for shoes, good for clothes and toys. That's for sure. Ross right now is like loaded in certain Rosses with clothes. Like, let's see, what was or not Burlington? Oh, Marshalls. Let's see, Scott. Okay, so what did it say? Tip number 1, I'm gonna say, and then Hustlebee's gonna come in and give his side of it. Number 1, if it's dry out there, you haven't really been finding stuff, I would focus on your current items and your current listings and maybe reevaluate what you have going on. And in this case, just make sure you have everything listed. Make sure you don't have stuff stuck in the closet you haven't really been looking for, like you haven't found it, like, hey, is this listed or not? Make sure you have the right prices. What do you have in stock? And make sure you're kind of set, because this is about buying and selling. You have to do both. You have to source well. You also have to sell well. So why not focus on one if the other one is really, really slow, and go back into selling and making sure everything's good on that end? What do you think?
Yeah, so that's exactly what we did with it for this week. So one, we did reorganize everything, loaded on boxes, made some boxes. As you guys see on this end, I have like a stack of boxes already in this end right here. Um, so that's one thing. And also I sat down, like that's what we've been doing for like at least 4 or 5 hours a day. Sat down, evaluated all our listings, double check the keywords if there's wrong spelling or not, double check the market, right? So if this is something that I have a bunch of, I actually check solds if maybe I'm pricing it too high, or sometimes you could be pricing it too low and you're losing money, right? Because sometimes, if you think that there was a lot of competition when you listed it, well, maybe 2 weeks after, everybody sold out besides you. So you need to pay attention to that. And inventory check. My wife did an inventory check and she found like 2 or 3 items that were listed that actually sold already, and then
Yeah.
she found like 4 to 5 items that weren't listed. All of maybe we deleted the listings or stuff like that. So that was easily like 400, $500 of items that weren't listed. And also that would have been a headache if we sold something that we didn't have in our possession. So those are the things that you could do. And one thing that I could add on to that is try to go around your house again, because I know there's a lot of stuff that you don't need and you don't use anymore, and try to sell it.
Yeah.
I just sold a tank top that I wasn't using anymore. It still had tags and stuff like that. And even though it was a tank top, it actually went to Oregon. It was crazy. So maybe it was somebody that was gonna use it for workout or stuff like that. So uh, there are a lot of ways. So sometimes we get too discouraged when our stores are not getting anything. But at the end of the day, it's part of the business. It's part of what we're into. So we got to learn how to adapt and adjust.
Yeah, I agree on that. And shout out to Bay who's in the chat. And one thing, speaking of Bay, is Uno playing cards. And here's one of the examples that I need to throw out there is that, you have to keep on. You talked about like checking your current items, making sure the prices are right, make sure you're not listing, um, or make sure you don't have like, low prices on your current listings or whatever. You have to do the research and go back on some of this stuff. And even when you're out there sourcing, you might say sourcing is a little slow. You still have to do the research and check the market on what's going on. So Uno cards right now, Bay made a killing. He sold them for 120. That was the time that we made the video for Ross Finds of the Week. Uno cards came out. That market has totally changed now. Like the market changes daily,
Yeah,
weekly. If you're
daily.
not keeping up with it, I mean, you're gonna lose out. If you're out there buying like 10 boxes of the Uno cards and expecting them to still go for 120 range, and you don't even do the research on it, then you deserve to lose, period. Because you're not even doing the work for it. It's like Flyknit racers. That market has changed. At one point, they were selling good for like 100 plus. They were there for like what, $40 or something at DD's discounts when I got them. I sold them. They were good. Now that has changed. Like you have to keep up with this stuff. And if you're kind of down right now because you're not finding things in your area, go through your current listings and make sure it's fine, because it's just totally different from one week to the next. Even one whole month from the next could be totally different.
Yep, 100%, 100% agree on that one.
And let's see, is there anything that you, well, I guess what's some other examples of anything that has changed from at one
Oh,
point we're doing good and then now?
our junior superflies
Oh yeah, that was,
drastically.
yeah,
Uh,
that one was gross.
yeah, so like the junior superflies, when we were looking at it, they were selling for 90. Next thing we know, we bought a bunch of them. I think we bought it around like 35 range, and then all of a sudden they're not moving at 60 anymore. So that in seasons too, right?
Oh yeah,
Seasons
for sure.
change, and one of the biggest adjustment that helped me was I actually bought a bunch of basketball shoes. About this wasn't the friends and family. This was the MVP pass. When you spend, like the $200, you get $50 gift card back. So I actually spent a lot of those in basketball shoes because I was expecting that basketball season was gonna start, come wintertime, fall and wintertime. So I've actually sold a lot of basketball shoes. So it's not about just saturation. You have to think about the sporting events too. Although soccer is more worldwide known now, so I still sell a bunch of that through the GSP program. But but yeah, you have to adapt on those certain types of items too, and not get too focused on just one particular sport.
Yep, and that's the whole game about this whole thing. Like you're making calculated risks. You're trying to make the best risks possible that you're going to make money on, because nothing is guaranteed. Even if you found, an awesome item at Ross or Burlington or whatever, nothing is guaranteed. We don't know. I mean, competition could come into play. The size that you picked could come into play. Maybe even if you don't have enough capital, you need money now, you'll go low, and then maybe you only have one pair or something, and then everybody's business is different, so nothing is guaranteed, but there's a lot of different factors in there. Number two I had for the tips is to explore out of your area. I think once in a while it is. I mean, you don't have to go excessive and go to like Chicago and do out hustle and go fly different places, but take a drive, even if it's like a different side of town, even if it's even out of your city, trying to go somewhere else. Sometimes it's good to just get out of your main routine, your main area that you're kind of going to. Especially if you're going to these stores like 4 times a week, 5 times a week. Sometimes like, hey, I found this already. I've seen this already. Things aren't even like moving. I go to the same Ross, the same shoes are in the same location when I came yesterday, and they're not getting anything new. It's kind of good to just kind of do something a little bit different, and then you can get back into it, a couple of days later or something.
Yep, yep, yep. I love going to different cities and stores.
What's the farthest you've drove?
Atlanta, 7 hours away.
And but it was worth it. What was like the longest you drove and then it wasn't worth it?
Oh, when I went to Pittsburgh, uh, I pretty much kind of like made. I mean, I still bought some stuff, and I still made a little bit of money, but it's not that exciting, right? When you're going to a different city and you're just like, and these are the stuff that I could find in my city without the drive. So yeah, when I went there, that was rough because I just stopped by a Nike outlet and then just bought like 6 pairs of Tempo Legends that made me $50 each shoe. So that was it. Besides that, it was all empty, and I drove all day. Yeah, I mean, I sourced all day, right? Uh, because and then if it would have been a good sourcing place, I would have stayed overnight. So it was like I was ready to stay overnight there. I was like, ah, this is just too crappy. I can't spend money on a hotel, so I had to drive back. Came home really late and just didn't find stuff. So I mean, it's part of it. It's part of it.
Yeah. How was that drive back? Was it a little lonely?
Oh yeah, it was lonely. I had to get some motivational music on.
You're like, damn, this sucks. 5 pairs. Drove what? How far? Like 5 hours or something?
Yeah, 5 hours.
Like 5 hours to and then 5 hours back, right?
Yeah, yeah,
Okay.
10 hour
So 10
drive.
hours total. Yeah, that's rough. That's up to you guys though. If you want to drive that far, but see what's in your area. Like for me, if I wanted to drive, I think outside of my city, we have like one. I mean, Las Cruces is like the closest city to us. They have one Ross and one Marshalls. So and that's maybe like another hour away. I think after that, I'd probably have to go to like Tucson, which is maybe 4 or 5 hours, and then Phoenix is like 6 hours away from me. But I don't know if I would actually do that full drive um, for that whole thing. It just probably just depends on what's going on. It must be like super dry in the area, but it's been okay for now. Let me see. Yeah, Roger, you're in a tough spot there. Yeah, especially even Texas alone. I'm like 9 hours away from Austin and everything else that's around. So that's a far drive just going in Texas. Before we get into our last tip, I think some people had some tips in the chat. So if you have any other tips, send them away in the chat. We can read them. Let me go back to see. Adriana's tip was like you got to keep going even when it's dry, and I agree with that one too because
Yep.
um it's like every day is like a whole new thing. That's like the fun part of it, right? Like every day could be a new opportunity, and even when it is dry, you never know. And so you got to keep going anyway, even though yeah, you might get tired of it. I mean, you can go every other day if you want to take a break on it and then focus on listing those days that you're off, but finding things is like the best part of this whole business. Listing and shipping and taking pictures are probably the worst part of it, but you have to do all of it in order to get some sales done.
Yeah, and I think that's what I really like about the business we're in. Or for some, it's a hobby, but for me, it's a main source of income, and I'm sure it's main source for part of his source too with Glenn, because I will never be scared about somebody just dominating or everybody getting into reselling, right? I guess this could be a good point where at what point should we tell everybody about what we find, like about the hustle that we do? Because at the end of the day, some people will be tired. Some people are not made for this. Some people will burn out, and it takes really, really hard work to be able to sustain this for a long time. So that's what I love about this. It's something that, okay, if somebody gets to a certain listing, then they're top of the game. It's not like somebody smaller, with 10 items could still beat us to those different finds in that certain area. So that's what I love. It's very challenging.
Yeah, and I think that I mean the thing is that competition is everywhere, and I've told you this different times too that like if you're scared of competition, then you just shouldn't be in business. Period. I don't care if you have an actual business or if you're selling on eBay or Amazon or Poshmark or whatever. If you're scared of competition, just go ahead, go home, take your L, and you're done because competition is going to be everywhere. Merch by Amazon, more people are coming in um, and competition on different niches, designs, shirts. It is what it is. You're going to keep on, grinding and making sure that you're doing everything that you can to survive out there. Then you'll be fine. But I don't think there's. I mean, if you're scared of it and you're scared of even taking risks too, then that's a totally different thing. Emery says, I got a tip. Know the schedule for each store you go to. If they're close together, go to all of them in a week, get your best chance. And I think that's a good tip for also like trying to just get a schedule and a routine for your like driving routine, gas wise. How can you hit more stores quicker? What are the better routines in your area? Maybe if those get, a little dry, then yeah, you can now mix in some of those further ones out that you haven't been going to. And then
Hmm.
you can kind of mix those in. So I think definitely you can do like your own schedule to get the best out of it. What do you think?
Yeah, 100%. I mean, like that. The reason why I actually stole my wife's car, because it gets really good gas mileage. It gets like 35 miles a gallon. So that's one thing that I consider too, because full day of driving will cost me a tank of gas, which is like $25.
Yeah.
So I'm very aware of that. So and throughout time, if you've done it for quite some time, there are areas that you want to get to before traffic hits, right? Me and Glenn did that in Chicago. There are certain areas that we want to stay away from come rush hour, just to be more efficient with your time. And Mr. Hafapino said it right, that you need to be friends with the employees and stuff like that. Be nice to them, and eventually they'll tell you when they restock and when they don't. And maybe find more pairs in the back that that they don't have any room to put up front. So that's a very good tip as well.
Yeah, I like that. And let me go back to man, where was I? I was gonna read and then I don't know where it went. Oh, here we go. So Vanessa says, I have a part-time job at night, 3 month old, and I do my dad's billing for his business, and I still find the time to go sourcing.
Oh,
So you pretty much
that's
have no excuse. And that's what I like about it. I mean, if you're doing this full time, definitely it's going to be, I think, like what Ken said, the challenge, a lot more challenging. I mean, you're trying to, live off of finding different things from different stores. You really have to have not only the right capital, the right mentality, the right knowledge, and you still want to gain more knowledge to do this full time. If you're doing this part time, then I think you're also in a really, really good position because you're looking on making an extra two, three, four, $500 a month, doing this part time, going to Ross and different stores, like here we go, like late at night or something like that. They're open super late. So that
right.
helps you in that case to where you can actually go sourcing at 11, 12, 1 in the morning. I think some Rosses close at 1:30 or something. I don't know. It's kind of
Right.
crazy, different areas.
So yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, right? The excuses only sound good to the person making them. So, I even catch myself doing that, right? I have to evaluate, like, Ross is dry, and then my wife always, tries to correct me. I was like, what if they have that one item? What if they have that one supreme item, or that one retro, or just one, somebody, I forgot who mentioned it and messaged us. There was this like tennis, like a Jordan Nike tennis collab that he got for like $30, and then they sold it for 299. Like, what
Oh
if,
yeah, yeah.
that would have made your day, right? Like that one find that you will find someday, and it's not impossible. It's been done, right? Like, Glenn has found some crazy stuff. I found some unique stuff, and you just have to go. That's my mentality. Just go, because at the end of the day, the upside is so much bigger than what you're gonna lose, right? For me, example, right? What I will lose will be gas and time. But where can I put that gas and time money that I can eventually win big time, right? For example, hauling 10 pairs of Nikes that would, net me, like, for example, the biggest haul that I did at Ross was actually when I was driving back from Chicago after I took Glenn to the airport. So I could have been like,
Yeah.
okay, it was a good time, let's go home. But my wife, was just saying, I was actually telling my wife that one more store, one more Ross, and we actually went to one Ross, and then we hauled 10 hyper venoms, and she actually found it, and she was just like, what what if we gave up and we went home? That was what that was easy $1,000 profit in one haul.
Yeah, that was that was like one of the craziest,
So
I think, cleat finds I've seen in hauls probably like throughout the whole year because that was like many pairs of that one shoe. Usually at Ross, maybe you'll get like one-offs, like okay, maybe I found like three, but how many of them were there again?
10.
Yeah, yeah, 10 pairs. Like that was yeah, I hadn't seen that. Especially in my area. Walk-in Faith Flips says tip number one, go out and get it. So this show is over. That is the main tip. Just go out and get it.
Hey, shout out to Chris Tantry on the pay. He said, "What you should do when it gets tough is immediately give up and call Glenn and Ken. They'll take your inventory."
Yeah, that was hilarious. Immediately give up, give inventory. And Deformity Shot says, look at clearance section at Ross, especially right now. They have so much merchandise, they need to make their money back. So they're going to sell shirts and jackets for very cheap. And also, like the huge football cleats, I know. I really don't want to pick them up just because I don't really want those things kind of flooding up my house and taking up room, even though they are $5.49 and they're a size 13 and they're huge and they're like in a Dolphins colorway. I just don't want them there. I know they're going to take probably just way too long for me to flip. I don't know. I'd probably leave those behind. Clothing is, I think, is a little bit different, especially if I know that I can do something with it and sell it pretty, not quickly, but at least 60 days or something. But a lot of these football stuff that's going to stay for a long while. Like vapor sharks or something. Like I wouldn't know what to do with them. Let me see what else was on here. I think someone else had a pretty good tip. I can't find it. Yeah, always build relationships with the folks at the store. Do the survey, add their name, be polite, hustle, 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 be humble. That was from Footy Bargain Hunter. So I like that one. Let me see. Go back up. Are we? Glenn found that North Face Supreme shirt for $12.99. Yeah, that was someone else asked me. I think recently they sent me a message like, "Have you found anything else Supreme at Ross?" And the answer is no. That was the only thing that I've ever found. Let me see. Dolphins colorway, Jaguars colorway. Oh man, Jaguars colorway is going crazy right now. I think I've seen crazy amounts of Jaguars colorways. Let me see. Is everywhere, but there's a competition. Is everywhere, but there's a lot you can still sell. Not have a lot of competition. Exactly. A lot of good stuff still out there. Let's see. It's about time management. That's also true too. I mean, because you gotta keep that in mind that everybody's in different situations, not only through business wise, but personally, kids, family, married, not married, single, single bachelor life. If you're a single bachelor life, you could do whatever you want. Then I really don't have any type of sympathy or excuses for you because you're pretty much you're doing whatever you want. So
If you're
yeah.
single and if you got time, you don't have any excuses.
Yeah, that's a totally different situation. And if you don't have to like provide for a family or mortgage, house, wife, stuff like that. I mean, that's the totally different game right there. That's like Steve Rakin game. Like he's single. There's nothing else. I mean, what else do you have to do?
You there?
Yeah,
Are
can
you
you still
there?
see me?
Yeah, we're good.
Okay.
I think somebody was asking me, and he was actually telling me like, what should I do? I don't have a car. I said, take an Uber, and he said it's too expensive. I said take a bus. He said it'll take too long. I said ride a bike, and he said I don't have a bike. It got stolen. And then I told him walk. I mean, like like what are you gonna do, right? I mean, you gotta play with the cards that you're dealt with, right? I could have been lazy and said like, well, I'm an immigrant. I can't, I'm not good. I'm new to this country. I guess I'm just gonna suck, so right? Like that's an option for me, right? I mean, you gotta
Yeah.
hustle, right? And then
Well,
I,
actually, going to that pull point, like if you have fully functional legs, then I also don't have sympathy for you because there's people out there that don't have fully functional legs. So if that's another excuse that I don't have a car, but I have, you know, functional legs, and that's yeah, I'm not gonna even buy that either. You still hear me?
yeah.
Because I think we keep on going out in and out. Well, at least I saw it on the thing that we went in and out, but at least we're good. Let me see. Loki Husky, that's funny. eBay username. Should
Right.
we get into let me see, hold on. Let me answer this.
Somebody said crawl or at least wiggle.
I would try to I think someone also asked me that too, and I was telling them um if you do catch a bus or something, like I don't care that it's slow, as long as you get there. And not only that, try to go to areas to where like you've seen it, where Burlington is next to a Ross, or we saw it in Chicago. There's a shopping center that had Ross, Burlington, and Marshalls, all three of them in one shopping center. Take the bus, go there, you can hit all three stores. Done.
Yeah. Get it done, son.
Okay, let me see. All right, our last tip, because we got carried away. Last tip, and I know we've stuck to Nike Outlet, Burlington, Ross, Marshalls. Try new stores. If you haven't gone to anything new and you've been kind of stuck to these certain stores, what about Plato's Closet? What about Buffalo Exchange? Those type of stores where they have used items that can still bring you big money. That's not necessarily thrifting. They kind of keep track of like what their high end, I guess items are. You can throw in thrifting if you wanted to in there, Family Thrift Center, Savers, Goodwill. You can also try other stores that maybe you haven't really looked into that are still out there. TJ Maxx, I know I haven't really covered a whole lot. TJ Maxx, Tuesday Morning, even Dick's Sporting
Home
Goods
goods.
sometimes has pretty good.
Home goods.
Yeah, Home Goods has pretty good sales. Um, Nordstrom Rack, which
Yeah.
Rolando says Nordstrom sucks ass, but you can also add that in there. You never know. So those are just different, other stores that are out there. You can add on to your arsenal and learn some of those items for your store. So that you can also throw in.
Yeah, Rolando, make sure you're going to Nordstrom Rack, not Nordstrom. Because Nordstrom is expensive, but the Nordstrom Rack is their clearance store. Uh, I
Yeah.
mean, a lot of people have found really good success there.
And State Good says Ross all over the stores. Nike Outlet, second for deals. Scott Wynn says Tuesday morning sucks. Mr. Javapino says, anybody found anything good at Tuesday morning? Answer is yes. I've sold. This is for FBA though, not really for eBay, but I used to sell quite a bit of like toys that were no longer in season, kind of similar to Ross, and they were selling pretty good on FBA. There was like some like they're kind of like kids type of like tablet type things that were selling pretty good. I made pretty good money on those, and they have weird different items in there too, but you'd have to keep going and checking just like you would with any other store. Rick Remix, Big Lots. Big Lots is actually tough. Sometimes I know I found some stuff from there that I did sell, but it's been a while since I've checked some of the Big Lots stuff.
Yeah, and also, it just depends, right? Like, it just depends on your area, right? Like my Nordstrom Rack, I haven't found anything, but somebody's Nordstrom Rack, they had those. I think Caroline found those Gucci, the black sheep SB dunk,
Oh yeah,
SB.
yeah, she did.
Yeah, yeah.
That's true.
So some people found Ultra Boost there. Some
Mhm.
people found uh, some high end, shoes that are there too. So at the end of the day, really, it's just trying to figure out what works for you, right? Because there's no exact model that will work exactly for you. It has to be something that you like, something that's convenient for you, or maybe it's available in your area. Like I'm not heavy into Ross finds because I have to drive 2 hours north to find to get to three Rosses, or drive down south 2 hours to get to three Rosses. So I'm not heavy on Ross. That's why I'm heavy on Burlington Nike outlet. I mean, I have more Nike outlet than Ross within a 2 hour drive.
That's kind of crazy.
That's crazy.
Yeah. And anyone, let's see, let me go back up to see
Yeah.
recycling by reselling tip. Don't be scared to source outside of your niche when times are slow. So you could pick up a new niche and do some research and try to get good at that too. Maybe women's clothing at Ross is where you want to go next and try to figure that out. Women's clothing is the biggest section there at Ross, and that's where they get most of their sales. I pick up like some Adidas jackets, some things here and there, but there's like a totally different market out there on women's clothing. And if that's your niche and you learn it and you know it, then you can add that on to what you're already doing here. Let's say with the cleats and men's stuff. So you can definitely add that on.
Yeah, I actually found some really good success sourcing at Platos Closet. I don't know. I don't. This is something that I haven't shared openly, but I found some uh, Ralph Lauren vest at the Platos Closet for, I believe I paid $17 for them, and I thought I was crazy for paying that high, but I said let me just experiment, and they all sold for around $60. So and, they were so easy to ship and everything like that. So that was exciting.
Yeah, that's so there you go. And let me go back up because we were saying, yeah, Uptown Cheapskate is kind of like Plato's Closet and Buffalo Exchange. So those are three really good stores you can go to if you have them in your area. Let me see. Superman says that you found a Notre Dame varsity jacket. I know. Bebe found that one too. I have not found that varsity jacket. It's pretty sweet though. Let me see. Academy Sports, yeah, sometimes they could have some stuff there if you have one in your area. Mr. Apapino, how's Champions brand doing since it's starting to hype back up? This has been selling pretty good. I
Good,
sold,
good.
I sold like a hoodie. It was like a kid's large Champion spell out, and I still sold that one for like 35 or $40 or something. I got that one at Savers, so that one Champion's still doing pretty good.
Actually, what do you call that? I was gonna say, um, Marshalls has some champion brands.
Yeah, I've seen that, and the price has gone up on that too. I guess it just depends on what it is, really.
What kind?
Yeah. Let me see. Let me go back up. Let's see what else we were talking about here. Rick Remix talking about storage auctions. I've tried storage units when I was doing the garage sale type stuff days. Me and my friend went to like storage units and all that. That is like that game is tough. One of the things that I found out about that was just trying to get enough, I guess, like help to get everything out of the unit within 24 hours. And I was like, how the hell am I going to do this? Like,
And you don't drive a truck or anything like that.
yeah, I know. My friend had a truck, and then we're just like, look at the manpower to get all this stuff, especially when it's like heavy furniture. It's a totally different game with that
So,
stuff.
so what happened if you like, for example, like there's a furniture that you don't want to haul out? Can you just leave it there, or do you
You
have
can
to take?
leave it there, and then they'll just get rid of it, or but
Okay.
they might charge you a fee if you left it there and it's all huge, and now they got to deal with it. So yeah, it's it is a totally different game, but yeah, they might do something like that. Depends on the rules of the place. Let me see. What do you think about eBay guaranteed shipping? They're hiding listings if you don't aren't opt in.
I don't think they're hiding listings. It's just it's some customers are actually trying to sort it by guaranteed listings.
Okay, very nice there. We got an answer. And any other questions? Let me go back. Elliot's my biggest flips on clothing were from Plato's Closet. My Ross in the past month. Talk about the up tempos. So yeah, we talked a little bit about the up tempos, KB. If you want to watch the beginning, we talked a little bit about that. How do you guys do promoted listings?
So I personally I experiment because there's no, I mean, it's a new rollout and stuff like that. So it's something that you'd have to feel it. For certain items that I have a really high margin, and I try to promote it. But when there's but when the margin is really kind of thin, I pass on promoted listings. Chris talks about it that 10K on the Bay, I think he does 1% or 2% promoted listings. So I don't think it's that much of a big of a difference, because it's either some people are just buying whenever they see the product, right? Or some people are sorting it from low to high. So
Yeah.
that's something that's not really, I have to see a lot more data to actually prove it to myself, to actually have more, confidence. And okay, I'll pay 10% more if this sells, twice as fast, or will this, so those are the things that we're not really familiar with yet.
Yeah. Yeah. Plus, Chris says a lot of things. So,
Yeah.
let's see. Anyone sourced a Goodwill boutique shop? I haven't. I know in Austin they do like a weird um, bidding type of thing on Saturdays. So that's kind of a weird thing.
Oh, okay.
Um,
I've been to a boutique shop. So a boutique shop is pretty much brand new
oh,
and
okay.
close to new items. So I
Oh,
actually
okay.
sourced there. It's really cool. So you just have to have an eye, really, for an item.
All right. Vanessa, does plastic or sling wrap damage suede or leather shoes?
That's on you.
Oh, I don't even know because I mean I've shipped it all in that cling wrap. I've shipped every shoe in that, and I haven't had any complaints. So leather or and suede, and I guess not because I didn't hear anything bad.
Right. I mean, unless you just, squish them, too tight. I mean,
Yeah.
probably some scuff, but uh, uh, I've been just using bubble wrap, so that's what I've been used to. So I don't think that really matters as long as you pad it nicely, that it's not like bouncing around.
Oh, okay. Yeah, we can. Yeah, maybe we could just do a test.
Mr. Halfpino said, "How's your rate on sales? My having buying personal love plus is fun sourcing." Uh, yeah, there is. I haven't really had huge success with it, but I've sold a few, but not crazy.
Adriana, adding in dollar store in there too. See, that's what I'm saying. Like, you got to add some different stores in there. I know dollar store, like Dollar Tree or something. People do good on different like bundles, and they add things together, Christmas bundles and things like that. So, yeah, that's just like thinking out of the box and not just going with what everybody else is selling. Ken, if item is 2.3 ounces, do you ship as 2 pounds or as 3 pounds?
No, I ship it as 3 pounds because I do bulk shipping, so that would fall to 2 to 3.
Yeah, yeah, I agree.
Yeah, because you don't want to have that headache with the customer coming back at you that they have to pay extra for the shipping.
Yeah. Superman, how do you guys feel about the quality versus quantity listing topic that's been going around the reseller community?
Yeah, it's been talked a lot. I really if your supply is abundant, right? If you don't have problem sourcing it, you can buy closeouts, liquidations, and stuff like that. Obviously, a volume would be your game, quantity would be your game. But if you're looking at, if you can't find those wholesale items, liquidation items, you'd have to stick with quantity, right? But at the end of the day, right, like a lot of people say, like my kind of business is kind of like the more relaxed space because my ASP is higher. I don't have to, do so much shipping every day. uh, that fits for me, right? I had to reverse engineer what I want, and I had a goal, right? I want to ship 20 items a day, and that's the max I want, right? But how will I get the X amount of money? So I had to reverse engineer, and also I live in an apartment. I cannot, A lot of people ask me why I don't do a lot more volume than what I'm doing. Instead of buying $100 item, why should I should buy $50 item and it will sell faster? Like for me, I can't because I have limited space. So
Yeah,
really, it's doing what you really want. For me, yeah, I mean, me and Glenn has talked about this, that we have an opportunity to do wholesale, but the only reason why we're not really pursuing it as hard as we want, because we would have to run a warehouse. yes, it's still gonna be shoes, but that's a warehouse space that's getting an employee, and that's a lot of money getting tied up for sure. And we won't be doing as much traveling as we want to because we have a warehouse to manage. So it is really up to what you would want to do. There's going to be a lot of suggestions, but at the end of the day, what will make you happy?
Yeah, I agree on that. And everybody has different business models, but I know for us, we would rather, I think, buy quality items that we know will sell rather than buying a bunch of items. My example was like I said, like even though cleats are $4.99 and they're the Jaguars colors, Dolphins colors, and they're Vapor Sharks or something, like even though they're $5, they're selling for 20. How long is that going to take? And I just rather not have all of those in my house. And you're having a bunch of quantity, but I think they're just taking up room at that point.
Yep.
Let me go back up and see. Vogeltron, what's up? Car parts from the salvage yard. There we go. You can add that in there. Someone had a question on, yeah, what's the best way to ship the soccer balls? What is the box that you've been shipping those in?
USPS box 7. I
Box
have one
7?
right. Yeah.
Okay. He's going to find that box.
It's this one.
Okay.
So
You can order those online, right?
yeah, online. I believe they're 12 by 12 by 8. So they're 12 on the sides and then 8 on height. And then they will fold like this.
Okay. There you go. Pretty cool. And let me see. Let me go back up. What was the other? Rick Remix question: does quantity cause burnout? It could, especially if you're frustrated with stuff. I mean, especially also if you're going all in on a certain item that did sell really, really good at one point, and then, like we said, doing the market research, maybe that item doesn't sell anymore. Like, what if someone went all in and they got like 200 Uno cards? Like, that could cause some type of burnout because you're like, oh man, I found all of these. Now I'm finding all of these of this. And then you're kind of like confused and then things aren't really selling. So that kind of doesn't help you. So it could, quantity wise. Let me see. Thanks for answering, guys. I'm a quality guy because in the end, quality will always sell. That's a
Yeah,
good point there too.
that's a good point. Like, um, I think it was me and Chris discussing it that um, it's so much easier to sell a brand that has done their marketing for themselves already, right? For example, Nike. Nike has influenced us since we were young. We see it everywhere from all the entertainment business. They have athletes wearing it. They have different people pushing it. They're everywhere, right? We see it in our banner ads on our Instagram. We see it all over us, and so they have done the marketing for them. So somebody would just go in that, oh yeah, I want those hyper dunks. They just look it up on eBay and just try to find a deal. So eventually, right, if you are actually trying to improve yourself as far as sourcing would concern, you really don't have to do any marketing for yourself. For example, like a lot of people say, how do you drive traffic to your store? Like, I don't. The products that I sell do my listings. So, in a perfect world, I would love to sell Gucci and Louis Vuitton all the time.
And it's a
It's just
pretty,
a matter of like I that's tip number 4, sell Gucci's. But the thing is, right? The thing is, like, how can you find it, right?
yeah.
So that's the thing. So it's just realizing, is it something that you can source? I'm sure I can source Gucci, but I will have to work my way up there.
Yes, sir. And Fashion Outlook, is it normal that Ross will sell shoes with stains on it? I've seen a lot of shoes that have flaws. Some of them come like that, factory. Some of them are irregulars, and then some are just because they're kicked around on the floor because
Yeah, they
people
don't have
are
boxes
scared.
and stuff like that.
Yes, and Ross is just a messy store. So that's normal. And you have to make a decision too if you want that shoe or not once you see how bad the stains are. Stay good. Any good Nike or Jordans this week? or Jordan fines. I mean, a couple of good stuff. I mean, that'd be like a long answering question on different fines. How much does it cost to ship a shirt? More than likely, probably like $3.50, around that range. Recycling by reselling. I like the freedom of reselling, meaning I can go run during the day, take a road trip when I want, and nap. And yeah, Hustlebee loves naps.
I love nap because I only like sleep like 4 to 5 hours at a time. If I sleep over that, I get lazy and I end up sleeping for 12 hours, and that would be called hibernating already. Yeah,
Oh
nap, man.
man.
I just actually got off a nap before I came into this call. I took a 20 minute nap.
There you go. 20-minute nap. Then he goes on live. And then he starts selling stuff.
Yeah, it works, right? It works.
There you go. And let me see. I saw people in the listings. People deflate the soccer balls before shipping. Have you done that or no?
So I didn't deflate it all the way down because what I did is I actually stuffed it in a what do you call that? Like a shoe box. You
Yeah.
know, the priority shoe box. I actually
Mhm.
stuff it there. And it's like there's gotta be a better way in shipping this, and that's when I found that box.
Oh, okay.
Because it's gonna be 1 pound, over 1 pound anyway. The shoe will be over 1 pound. So I don't know. Somebody said he actually shipped it first class. I don't think it could be under a pound. I think it's over a pound, a little bit over a pound after the packaging and everything like that. And
Yeah.
we talk about it. We want to avoid customer barking at us or leaving us a negative review if they have to pay for postage.
Yeah. Yeah. I wouldn't deflate them either. The only person that I know that likes deflated balls is Tom Brady. Other than that, I would not do deflated balls for anybody. Just do them, regular, like you get them, and that's the way you should take pictures and ship them out. I mean, Superman went to Ross in Chicago. It was trashed. Can't even imagine how closer during the holidays. Yeah, it's gonna be. Yeah, I could. It's just gonna get. It's gonna be complete mayhem for the next month
Yeah.
with Ross, with stuff all over the floor and everything.
I wouldn't go near a Ross or Burlington during weekends from now
Oh
on.
no. Yeah.
Because it's gonna be mayhem. Because you get this some smarter shoppers that are gonna start shopping now.
Yeah, and during the weekends, people take their families and kids all over the place. You don't want to deal with any of that.
Dude, I actually went to uh one Burlington one weekend, and there were like 4 or 5 kids that literally just took the soccer balls outside of the box and started kicking them in the store.
Of
I
course
was
they
like,
did.
no.
And and the mom did nothing.
Yeah, mom was busy shopping.
Yeah, of course. All right, so I think we're done here. We went over an hour. Any last questions? Throw it in here. More than likely, Owl Hustle 3 will be in California. Now,
California.
we're trying to figure things out. Yeah, where we're going to go and what we're going to do. So, if you're in California, you can email me, but I'm going to start setting some stuff up on the website so we can get a head count and see what areas are the best to go to, because we do want to do a meetup, that's for sure. And we do want to give people plenty of time to meet us up. I know the Chicago one was kind of out of nowhere, but now we want to make sure that we have plenty of time for the meetups. I can tell you that California, Florida, and New York, and of course Kansas City, because we will be there, are going to be our next stops. And we definitely want to meet you, because the meetup part is probably the best part of the whole out hustle thing. So
Yes, so somebody said NorCal, SoCal. Yes, both. We are going to both areas. And I mean, right after this, me and Glenn is gonna go hunting on some flights and some dates and stuff like that. So we wanna get it out as fast as we could. So we'll have a more more time to prepare, so that you
yeah,
guys could be able to schedule something.
yeah, so we'll make sure we do that. And oh, what's up, Eric? Good to see you in the chat. And so yeah, we're gonna do that. And then as far as the other places that we've talked about, it wouldn't be until like later on in the year. maybe probably like Phoenix. Again, we have to go to like the Austin, Dallas, Houston, and do all that over again.
We
So
have
I
to
know,
find DC. We have to go to DC area too.
yeah, DC area was another one we talked about. Atlanta, I think, was another one that we had talked about. But like I said before we started the conversation, California will be next. Florida probably after that, and then Kansas City because we're gonna do that for the conference. And then New York area, of course, not until it gets warmer. I'm not. We're not going anywhere near there in the cold.
I was gonna say I was waiting for Glenn to say New York in February.
Well, actually, because also we talked about like Philly, Baltimore, but that's not until it gets warmer because that's just not gonna happen.
After the Chicago trip, Glenn's be like, let's plan this wisely.
What's kind of funny is like I come back here and it's like 80 something degrees today. And Chicago, it was like what 18 degrees at the lowest when we were there, like at one of the
Right,
mornings or nights.
right.
Yeah, it was a completely different area to be in and weather wise. So all right, guys, we'll keep you guys updated on that. Where we're gonna go next. Out Hustled, episode number 1. I'm almost done editing it. It is pretty long. Remember, these episodes are like 20 to 30 minutes long, and some are like around, I don't know, about 30 or 40 minutes long, but they are pretty long. Like I said, I don't want to be like everybody else. I want to do something totally different. Out Hustle does that for us because we can get more of like longer type of videos instead of like quick hauls. You get to see a full day of sourcing. So Out Hustle number 1, well, Out Hustle 2, episode number 1 on Monday. That'll be out. So even if you don't watch it on Monday, you're bored on Thanksgiving with your family, you can watch it on Thanksgiving and watch the full 20 to 30 minute episode.
Alrighty, peace out, guys.
See ya. Go out and get it.